We asked both students and staff members at CCHS what their thoughts were regarding whether or not grades represent their intelligence.
Grades are most reflective of a student's work habits.
I do not believe that grades show how smart you actually are.
If it was up to me, there would be no grades.
You could just be doing bad in the class, and that doesn't mean that you don't understand what's being taught.
Sometimes I think if you look at kind of different theories of multiple intelligences, we can have students that are very strong and talented in certain areas, but perhaps the class in question is kind of playing to their their weaknesses.
I think it shows your school intelligence, like math and science, but not like intellectually, like out in the world, how smart you are.
Like you understand the basic ideas, in the test you can show that you understand the basic ideas and like apply it to the concepts being taught.
One thing that's really unfortunate that oftentimes is not reflected in grades is perseverance. So I really believe that you can increase your intelligence through effort and through hard work, and oftentimes those things are not brought into an assessment system in any meaningful way. So one of my really close friends lives in Maine. He's a sculptor and a farmer, printmaker, and years ago he adopted a little girl who had been subject to in utero drug abuse, and then was subject to more abuse when she was born. She was adopted by my friend when she was about 6 years old. So by all markers of our intelligence, if you were to test her on the SAT, if you were to give her examinations, in most high school settings, or at that time in elementary schools, she would do abysmally. Right, so she would be seen as someone without a lot of intelligence. I find especially gosh, an institution like this where students and the culture is very grade oriented, the grade becomes the driver of the work.
I think now there is a tremendous amount of stress that our students and their parents probably feel around their performance.
Grades have to be determined by something other than tests and homework, because a lot of the times those don't reflect how well a student is doing in a class or how much the student understands it.
All the time I see major mismatches between grades and students' capacity.
I don't think I can show my intelligence through homework or tests. Maybe like presentations and like face-to-face stuff I can do better.
I think that most assessment systems and grades speak to a very singular and narrow view or version of what intelligence is.
In math, you might understand that like the distribution property, rather than in science, the elements on a periodic table.
I grasp a lot of concepts easier than two. Math and chemistry are not easy subjects for me to grasp, although some concepts from classes like international issues or English are a lot just easier for me to get.
Funny is, a lot of students who come into Rivers are students who haven't necessarily achieved in terms of their grades, who are wildly creative and smart, and just haven't, I think because oftentimes, grades are capturing such a narrow sort of idea of what intelligence is, haven't had that opportunity to really show all the things they're capable of.